Hello, mini makers. Welcome to my messy desk. Today I am making a pumpkin pie and we're going to be able to take a slice out of it. So this is just pumpkin colored clay that I'm using and rolling out. I rolled a ball of it about the size that I wanted, and there's about the thickness we want to gain. So I'm going to take my fingers at this point and create a bit of an edge all the way around, trying to get a nice sharp edge at the top and slightly tilting it in at the bottom to give it that nice pie shape. You can see what I've got there, and we want to roll it again to make sure we keep our nice edges. Now this, I'm just going to go around and flatten out that edge all the way around and make sure that it's a nice, good surface to attach our crust to when we're ready. And that's what we'll do next. Now I'm going to go around again and pat in the edges and make sure everything stays nice and smooth, and that we have a nice straight edge up at the top. Now I've taken this slightly off-white clay, it's just a very light tan, and I'm going to flatten it out a bit with my fingers to get it nice and even all the way around and just a little warmed up. Then I'm going to use my roller here, and we're going to give it a nice thin roll, make it nice and smooth. This will be our crust that's going to cover the entire bottom and sides of our pie. So now we're going to lay it flat on top. Push out any air bubbles before you start pushing into the sides. And if an air bubble pops into the center that you noticed, just poke it with a needle or your blade and smooth it out. And it's pretty easy to get rid of. Now I'm going to smooth this crust on just like I smoothed the edges of the pie itself. We want it to adhere really well. Get a nice straight edge going all the way around. Now we're going to finish up here. You can see I've got a little bit of an air bubble there on top, but we were able to roll that out. Now I'm going to use my blade, and we want to cut around our pie. We're going to cut the excess crust off. Just go all the way around and peel away. Then we'll use our blade to pull it up. And as you can see, we've got a pumpkin pie now with a nice crust on it. Now I'm going to smooth the edges of this crust as well. We want to give a nice appearance on the outside of our pie. We're going to be adding some chalk in a moment to tint it as well. Now I'm going to take this extra tan clay that I had for the crust, and I want to roll out a couple of small ropes with this. And this is going to be our upper crust of the pie that goes all the way around the outside. And I've decided to do just a nice twirl with 2 ropes. We're going to spin them around and make a nice rope design that we will then place on the outside of our pie all the way around. Now we're going to take the 2 and we're going to put them side by side and ever so lightly push them together like so. And then we're just going to spin. We don't want to go too hard here. You want to let it move freely between your fingers because this is a place where it can get very thin very quickly if you're not careful. I'm trying to just keep some consistency all the way down. And we don't want to roll this afterwards between our fingers because we want to keep that nice bumpy rope shape. So we'll trim off the end, and now we're going to place it all the way around the rim of our pie. Just on top. There we go. And then we're going to cut off the excess and blend the 2 ends together. And that makes a really nice rim for our cake. You can do all different styles on top, but I like this one for fall. Now I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to put some cracks in the top, because when you bake a pumpkin pie, it tends to split and crack a little bit on the top. And this really adds to the realism of what your pie is going to look like in the end. And they tend to go from the center out, so I stay in that direction. Now here is my brown chalk, and I've got my brush dedicated to this brown color, and we're just going to brush over our crust here. And this is giving us both light and dark areas of the crust, showing that it's been baked. And it's kind of hard to go wrong with this. Some areas may get a little darker than others, but that's kind of what happens when you're baking. We're also going to do some of this brown onto the pumpkin pie itself, because pies tend to darken around the outsides, and some in the center as well. We also want to do around the outside rim of the pie. This is going to give us nice shading, giving it that nice baked look. Okay, now that we've got most of our shading done here, I might go back and touch up some of these creases. They got a little brushed out when I was putting on the powder or the chalk. So we want to keep those well defined. Now we're going to cut a piece of our pie out, and I'm taking my long blade, starting in the center and working out. I'm just creating one slice and carefully pull that out. And you can see from side to side, we've got a great little pumpkin pie piece right there. And now I would like to work on the whipped cream. I'm going to do dobs of whipped cream for each slice. So we're going to start with a cut piece, and then we're going to make pieces that go all the way around the pie. That would show where you would cut it. So we'll go all the way around like so. If you like this video, remember to find me on YouTube at Gina Holland. You can follow me on Facebook at Itty Bitty Minis and on my website, ittybittyminisbygina.com. And that's where I sell all of my products that I've made. If you follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell up in the right-hand corner, and it will alert you every time I put out a new video. So we're going to finish placing our whipped cream here. And I'm going to use a needle tool and make it look just sort of fluffy all the way around. Some people like to put little curly cues so it looks like a whipped top. I'm just going to do a little fluff. Now I noticed my white was coming up off the pie, so I took my needle tool to each piece and just pushed down in the center to secure it to the pie so it wouldn't come up as I was doing this process. And I just push my needle tool in and twist it back and forth. And this needle tool has 4 needle heads coming out of the tip. So every time I push and twist, it punctures really well and creates a nice fluffy look on all of our whipped cream. So there we have it. We have our pumpkin pie with a slice taken out. All we need to do is bake it, add a little clear coat on top, and it's all done. Thanks for watching. And remember, creators always have a messy desk.